Hey, welcome to The Explainer. This is where we break down big, complex ideas into clear, engaging explainers. And today, we're going to crack open a powerful framework for your life, for leadership, and for purpose, from a place you might not expect. So let's start with something we've all felt, right? That feeling of being surrounded by total disorder. You know, the chaos in our work, our projects, maybe even just in our personal lives. It can feel messy, kind of empty, and totally directionless.
But what if I told you that a practical, step-by-step framework for creating order out of that exact kind of chaos has been hiding in plain sight for about 3,000 years? We're going to look at the ancient story of Genesis 1, and not from a theological angle, but as this incredible metaphor for intentional creation.
All right, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the ancient blueprint itself. Then we'll see how it can bring order into our personal lives and purpose into our professional lives. From there, we'll expand out to our social world, and we'll wrap it all up with 4 core principles you can actually start using today.
Okay, first up, an ancient blueprint for life. We're looking at how this old story can actually be a model for taking intentional action, for building something valuable, literally from the ground up.
All right, next, order in your personal life. So, how do we take this huge cosmic model and bring it right down to the most important project any of us will ever have, ourselves? So, the core idea here, which translates to in the image and likeness of God, is that every single person is created with this quality. In our practical framework, what this means is that you have an inherent, foundational value, a dignity that has nothing to do with your achievements, your job, or your bank account. It's your starting point, full stop.
And this is where it gets really practical. You can see how this blueprint becomes a direct counterattack on that internal chaos we all feel. So, you're feeling overwhelmed, right? The principle says, address one task at a time. Lacking direction? Okay, establish clear boundaries. It's a playbook, really, for swapping out disorder for intentional, focused action.
So, this boils down to a really clear action plan for your own life. Number 1, find your purpose by remembering that intrinsic worth you have. 2, create order. Just tackle the chaos one piece at a time. And 3, take responsibility. Act like a steward of your own life, your home, your health, your world. Okay, section 3, purpose in your professional life. Let's see how we can scale these same ideas up, from just ourselves to our work, our projects, and even how we lead.
You know, the story gives us this amazing analogy for project management. Instead of just jumping in and starting randomly, the blueprint follows a 2-step process. First, you create the space. What's that mean? You define the structure, the goals, the rules of the game. Then, and only then, do you start to fill that space with the right people and the right tasks to get it done.
And this next part is just brilliant. It's the importance of evaluation. Over and over in the narrative, after each stage of creation, you hear this phrase, and God saw that it was good. Think about it. A really conscious leader, a great project manager, they don't just finish a task and rush to the next one. No way. They pause, they assess, they affirm the good work. That reinforces value and locks in the progress before moving on. All right, on to our final application, dignity in our social world. Let's look at how this blueprint for building things can help us build better communities and better relationships with each other. And right here, 2 incredibly powerful social ideas just jump off the page. First, the statement that male and female were created in that divine image. Well, that provides a really radical foundation for equality. It's a direct challenge to any idea of superiority. Second, think about this. A lot of other ancient creation myths are all about gods fighting, chaos, and conflict. This one, it's about peaceful, benevolent creation. The model here is that societies thrive on positive intent and working together, not on fighting. Okay, so we've seen how it works. Now, let's distill all of this down into the ultimate toolkit. 4 actionable core principles that you can take away from this. All right, step 1, foundation of your value. This is the bedrock, the absolute starting point for everything else. The principle is that you have an unshakable intrinsic worth. So the action is to consciously recognize that dignity. You need to know your existence isn't some cosmic accident. It has a purpose.
Okay, step 2, the principle of order and structure. This one is all about empowerment. The key insight here is that chaos isn't some unbeatable monster. It's just the absence of intentional design. So the action is for you to become that intentional designer. Apply structure to your spaces, your money, your relationships. Face down the chaos one step at a time, with a plan.
Step 3 is the mandate of stewardship. This one's about responsibility. The idea is simple. You have influence, you have skills, you have agency, and with that comes a responsibility to care for the world around you. So the action is to use your talents not just for yourself, but for the common good. Take care of your world.
And finally, step 4, a culture of evaluation and approval. Honestly, this might be the secret weapon of the whole framework. The principle is that recognizing and saying that was good is a creative act in itself. So your action is to practice that. Evaluate your own progress honestly and celebrate your wins and the wins of the people around you. That's how you lock in progress and build unstoppable momentum.
So look, as we wrap this up, the goal isn't just for you to understand this ancient blueprint. It's for you to use it. Value, order, stewardship, and evaluation. 4 powerful steps to turn chaos into creation. So I'll leave you with this one question. Which one of these principles could you put into action starting today?